What would you guys constitute as, like, a blooming, a flowering? What would you constitute it as? Does it have to be a flower? Like an actual, literal flower? Or is it a geometry? Like, is it a... I'd say it's a geometry. Can we see that? Oh. See that? This is center. This is, we'll say, nature center. It's a dot, divot, dot, hole. It's a empty spot. It could be, but it's a center point. Okay? And what do we got coming off it? Oops. Let me see. What do we got coming off it here? What would you say that is? Almost looks like the Google logo, Google Chrome logo, isn't it? But would you say that it looks like it's, if it were a 3D space, it's opening at you? It's opening. It's. They've surrounded us with this kind of symbology and this kind of thing, but this is what we need to learn. Is what the nature here looks like. This is everything. What everything does. So with the rocks and everything does this from a center point. It just happens everywhere. It happens everywhere it needs to. This one's got some pretty floral. Oh, great. Right there. Center. Spiral lines coming off it. See that? That's what you would call a blooming. It's divergent lines off a center point. We've been unwired from seeing this kind of thing, though. We've been taught what it is, like what a bloom actually is, because everything does it. It's the only natural law here. It's the growth pattern. It's a spiral to 5-petal flower growth pattern. Let me see. There we go. See these coming off? Yeah. See what's going up here? So there's little propeller blades, you know, it's what it looks like, propeller blades, pinwheel, you know, it's a fanning, it's a pedaling, and notice here, it looks like a 6, but it's spiraling. Nature spiral usually doesn't look like the spirals we've been given. We've been given all incorrect spiral, like, no, nature spirals look like a pedaling, a fanning, and it looks like our alphabet, actually, because it's spiral, it looks like our cursive writing even when there's lines of it, and when there's a row of the spiraling, but the spirals makes the blooms, because convergent spiraling, or we've already been given everything, you know, the torus field, all that, and how magnetism, how there's a convergent spiraling and a divergent spiraling. Well, the convergent spiraling is this to spiraling. And then the divergent is the bloom. The divergence is the bloom. And they always happen, as far as visually for us, side by side. Like you can always see it side by side. Even like right here, and there's these petals coming off from the center point. Everything's doing it. Oh wow. This rock was all mud. It's finally getting the mud washed off. Like it was like a mud rock. I don't know, a big mud rock I found. Look at that. S is spiral. Oh. Sorry, I'm bad at this. S. See it? Spiraling. Wow, I gotta come back and clean this thing. Like really clean. I never did. Look at the coloring and look at the, see the feathering? That's flowering. Yeah, right there. You can see a little blooming right there. How cool. Wow, I might just do this right now. I did not know it was like, I didn't think about it really, it's just been sitting here. But yeah, right. Center point. There's about, it's opening up. And it's happening everywhere. And everything does it. Even the concrete, so it's moving outward. So usually we get the 3-petal wave is what you really see a lot of times here, is 3 petals. The rest are obscured. One on surface probably, and one below. That's how the moon is too. Everything is the mountains. But yeah, so it's the couple of the petals are obscured and it's just coming out. This thing's amazing. It's flowering beautifully. Yeah, dude. Look at the petals coming off it. And it's not blooming at you either. It's blooming in all directions. So some of them are facing this way. That one's facing that way. They're facing, you know, different directions. It's a floral pattern. Look at this mud. The spiral arms coming this way, that way. That's the petals. That's petal, like what we think pointy, like we'll see the pointed things. I don't know. We just think everything's random. Like there's nothing to like the points, it's broken or it's been broken. And that's not the case either, actually. Like a lot of rocks, they're petals of flowers. But a lot of them, I mean, many are broken, yes, but a lot of them actually are the whole petal, but they look broken because of the petals, but also the just the spiral geometry. It when it petrified. Look at pink heart. But do you see also this coloring? It's not random. The flowers had designs. It's not random at all. Flowers had designs, and they're floral, too, obviously. But you know, they got the dots. A lot of them are the center points or whatever, and Just look at the lines coming off, spiral lines coming off. It's got some really spiraling lines. It's got a different color too. Looks like I covered that one up with mud, but look at that one's flowering too. Look at the geometry it came up in whenever I pulled it up from where it was, okay? These petals, you know, off a central point. Things off a central point. And then right beside it, see the four, or you got these, but then also these. That's another one. Technically, and it's because everything spirals here. Because everything spirals, everything also flowers or blooms. Round, it's like a rose, blooming rose. You can't see it till you can. We've been completely dewired from it. Completely. This one's pretty cool. It's got six of spiral. It's got that line, it moves to there. Like it's a growth pattern, so it moved from the small and it grows. Grow, big bloom at the end. It's just, this thing's, all of them are blooming out, everything. It helps have better light too. See that? Right there, that thing. That center, petals around it. Center point, those petals around it. You gotta look for the petals around the center. But really you gotta know where center is. It's everywhere, technically. And we can't see it until we can. To us it was supposed to, all life, I guess I couldn't put my finger on what it was doing. You know, the rocks or whatever. Although I never really looked at the rocks, but from center, that black, it's pedaling out. It's blooming out. Or like pyramidal shapes, that kind of thing. Rocks, or this kind of thing. Okay. Not very complicated, actually. From here, right? It spirals. Spirals. Gets bigger. Spiral to bloom. Oh. Then there's right there. Blooming out everywhere. From the spiral to bloom. Spiral, bloom. It's a growth pattern. Spiral the blooming. Spirals make flowers. Like this. See, there's a center point. Center. And even the rocks make up their propeller and out, pedaling out. And it's happening from there. See, it's going around. It's going. And then it's happening right beside it too. See right there. So that. Clockwise. I like concrete and stuff because it actually shows you the happening. Like it shows you how it's happening. Yeah. You see right there? That's its center. There's another center. Spiral lines. The rocks are also like spiral a blooming. I don't know if it works actually in this case. But also just look at the center. It starts to really take on it looks like an eye, the center does. You find center so you can bloom out. But there's a reason the all-seeing eye, the eye of Ra, it's the beginning of pressure mediation, blooming.